we're kicking it off and talking about immersive creators. So last we heard about audio, which sits in between your ears. Now we're talking about media that surrounds and embraces all of your senses. So it's a great place for creators to create. It creates great environments for creators to tell stories in the landscape of these immersive worlds. And as we move from watching and commenting to more immersion, the world of the creator economy will change. We've seen a lot of great new immersive ways to connect, to create, to interact with content and with each other in playful ways. So we're going to spend about the next half hour exploring what that looks like. This is how it's going to work. They're going to come up and talk for about 30 minutes amongst themselves. And then we're going to do about 15 minutes of Q&A. I'll get out there and run the mic. So who we got coming up here? Well, moderator, my friend John Canning, who's Director of Developer Relations and Creators at AMD. No, stay down there. Yeah. When I'm done, I'll invite you up. Herding cats. He's going to be joined by Kaycie Choe, Project Manager at Moonrock Agency, Charlene Nichols, Founder at the Omniverse City, Brandon Johnson, President and COO of TerraZero Technologies, and Howard Beech, Partnerships and Integration Lead at Gamemasters. And now, Mr. Canning, you are welcome to come onto the stage to a big round of applause. Thank you.
One of these days, I'm actually going to get that right. You know that.
You know what? It's always fun every time, John.
It's always fun. We're having fun. All right, everybody, we're heading into the sunset here. We've been creating all week, but I do have to start with a deep probing question. Who here likes to work for free? Who here doesn't care about making money? Who here doesn't want to be rewarded for what you do? Good. I think we found a willing audience for us. I think they're going to be interested in what we have to say, don't you?
Yeah. If you want to make money, you've come to the right place.
Well, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to dive into, there's a lot of ways to create content, a lot of ways to engage with an audience. Immersive has been near and dear to my heart for a very long time. I love this concept of doing more with something, more with people than just talking at you, which I guess is what we're doing now. But we'll eventually interact and immerse with you in a minute. But we have a group here that has got a number of different perspectives, but is doing that next step beyond the broadcast, beyond the just talking to you, figuring a way to engage with you that is meaningful, and then also to figure out how to get rewarded out of that. And rewarding can be in a lot of different ways. I think that's the fun part about it, is we're going to talk about a number of different things. Could be monetary. How that monetary works and things like that is, we can come up with a lot of different ways. I think you and I were also talking about this at the beginning is that, some people are shocked when you try to figure out how to make money. But if you think about creating content from, way back when, the show presented by Colgate, we've been doing this. We've been trying to figure out how to do this because, again, none of you want to work for free, right? Or you want to be rewarded in some way. So let's go figure out how to do that. All right. I'm going to start down at the end there. We had Jim's intro, but I feel like you need to let us know a little more. I'm going to have each one of these folks tell you a little more about what they're up to, and then we're going to dive into some more questions. So go.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. My name is Charlene Nichols. I'm the founder of the Omniverse City. My platform is actually designed for a lot of the reasons why we're talking today. I represent my first love is the optical and optometric industry. Probably not the first industry you think of when you think about innovation and technology specifically related to virtual worlds. I'm still to this day the only one that has an optical metaverse. And I really did it to inspire my whole industry. There still is a very big need for an industrial shift starting from the supply chain level. And you really can't help retailers to inspire their consumers without helping the, frame and lens manufacturers that provide these retailers with the tools that they have to build that immersive experience. And kind of fell in this giant rabbit hole and landed in the Omniverse City Wonderland. And to this day, we're working with many industries. I was talking earlier with one of my panelists here about who my ideal audience or like who my avatar is. And it's, the unsung heroes. These are people that really want to change the world and they don't want to have to fundraise to do it. I am bootstrapped. I'm a proof and living proof that you can build an amazing platform that's pixel streaming on Unreal Engine 5.3 with sweat equity, blood, sweat, and tears, and with good old-fashioned grassroots grit. And I'm really grateful to be here, and I can't wait to talk more about it. Thank you.
Awesome. Those of you that got your bingo card, I think we've hit a number of those spots on the bingo card so far. So, just make sure you fill it in. Let me know when you hit bingo. All right. Next up, Brandon.
Yeah. Pleasure to be here with everybody. Everybody still has great energy for day 4, which is nice. So, I'm Brandon, the president and COO of TerraZero Technologies. Personally, my career has always been at the intersection of entertainment and entertainment technology. At TerraZero, we develop and deploy the Introverse platform, which whether you're a brand or a creator or an artist, you can come to our platform and get a virtual experience kitted out for you, where you can connect your entire omni-channel, get better data analytics as it appeals to behavioral analytics, and then a bunch of additional revenue streams. And then for all the fans, subscribers, and customers for all those groups who come to the platform, they also get their own virtual spaces. And that diode between those two groups is where all these new revenue streams come in. And I think that's what we'll be talking about today.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Kaycie?
Hi, my name is Kaycie Choe. I'm one of the project managers for Moonrock Agency. I just want to talk a little bit about us, and it's very nice to meet you all. Moonrock Agency is a 360-degree marketing agency. We work very closely with brands and also game companies. We work to kind of connect them to like more of a Gen Z, Gen A, and Gen B, using multi-prolonged campaigns in marketing. We also have like a multi-UGC of like different platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, and also Minecraft. And we also delve into like web and also mobile gaming. So it's a little mixture of like a diversity of influencers and also digital. But not only digital, we also do physical events, we do physical booths, and we also do experimental, which is my favorite because I get to interact more with like a one-on-one with like influencers, and I also get to work with a bit more with the brands itself to kind of like showcase everything to the outside world, or however people don't get to like experience a lot. So it's always been fun. And then also using our new platform of we just got a new partnership with Walmart using our new retail component, which has been amazing and it's been so much fun. So Moonrock is definitely a little bit more diverse into like the digital world, but also the physical world. So it's going to be fun to talk about that. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And last but not least, Howard.
Hi, I'm Howard Beech. I am the Chief Revenue Officer at both Scuti Rewards and Peach Mariah Productions, which is responsible for Gamemaster Television. I have spent my life in forward-thinking tech. Started at Mattel, where I launched the Power Glove. For those of you who might remember that, for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Worked for Hasbro. Launched the television network at Walmart, which is now Walmart TV. Started as a video game advertising network, and today I find myself in the immersive commerce space, where we are helping gamers and content creators to make money away from keyboard and from inside video games. If you think about it, the internet introduced internet commerce. Then we moved into mobile commerce from your phone. Now we're in social commerce, social selling. The next plateau, the next place to go is G-commerce, in-game commerce. And so at Scuti, we're helping to do that by giving you a place inside video games, 200 video games today with reaching 70 million gamers, where you can buy physical goods and get rewarded in digital currency that you can use interoperably. Web 2, Web 3, mobile, doesn't matter. You get a wallet, you could take it with you and spend it on in-app purchases, real-life experiences. It's a new way to explore value within the games. And then separately, there's a television show coming up. We're about to go into production called Gamemaster. And Gamemaster's focus is to bring creators and gamers together. So the way that we've got 12 contestants living in a mansion, and the way that they win $1 million is by being the best at the games that they play, and then also increasing their social media following during the weeks between episodes. So it's going to be fun to discuss this today. Thank you.
Nice. Is there any cage match? 12 gamers go in, one
boss fights. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
4 go in, 1
Yeah.
comes out.
I love it.
That's the way it goes.
What I think is fun about this is what you have is a representation of a bunch of different aspects of this, right? You have representation, you have infrastructure. I'm not trying to, monetization, the environment and creating the environment. So you see a lot of these different aspects. Now, what size of operation? Some people are out there saying, I want to go do this. Some of you are going to be, they're going to look for representation, but I think we're going to start with you to talk about, give us a little bit of that. How did you piece this together? Was it just you? Did you pull people together? What, somebody out there is thinking, I want to go do this. Where do they start?
I always try to avoid rabbit holes with my story because my story is a series of rabbit holes.
We'll pull you out of the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, thank you. But I remember the moment. I was a founder myself. I had actually built a really great platform called Optical Near Me 8 years ago. This was a platform where my vision was to teach opticians how to help provide remote engagement. So if you want to buy glasses, you either go online through Warby Parker or, online store like that, or you go into a local store. There was nothing in between. There was no way to get that professional guidance online. So that was kind of the goal. I got completely sidetracked by the idea that I couldn't get in front of anyone to get this product to market. I didn't want to go on a road tour to fundraise. I just simply wanted to get the people that I wanted to help inspired. And there was no way to do that through the physical events. It was way too cost prohibitive as a founder. So I started with virtual events, actually. That was my foundation. And what I was attracting were other founders that were like, we need this platform too. So I was like, I guess the platform I built to help myself is going to become a thing. And it did. And I was always inspired by every founder. They were all different platforms. I could tell you more recently, somebody who I'm working with, not from the optical industry, a company called Produce Matrix. Very simply, what they do is they're empowering local farmers markets to, not have their foods go bad because people do want to eat healthy. They just don't know where to go. These are simple problems that we've all thought about solving, but there's real people out there that want to solve these problems and they need the technology to do it. So Omniverse City was really designed to be the world that connects all worlds. We do really bizarre things for a platform, like trying to drive people off of our platform into other partner worlds, knowing that they're always going to come back. A perfect example is, Fortnite. We recently started building expansions in Fortnite. We're helping celebrities like Drika Gates with getting her name, image, and likeness to a whole nother level by sharing her beautiful story in our game Envy, the reality fashion tycoon game. And I love your idea, Howard, this idea of reality TV show meets video games. It's where it's all going. And I would have never, ever, ever had an opportunity to build my dream reality TV show fashion in Fortnite.
All right.
Let's
click on this though. So you said that that's where it's all going. What is it that it's all going? What do you, and each one of you, where short form video, YouTubers, but we were talking about various aspects of gamification, immersion, interactivity. So from your perspectives, where is it going? Beyond that, what does immersion mean to you? From, potentially your particular product areas, but also just what you think creators are looking for.
Yeah, I think, since we're here with the Creator Lab and talking about creators, let's drill down on that. So, I think it's about telling interconnected stories across multiple platforms. I think what you're saying about moving from social selling to in-game, I think that's a big part. So let's take something simple, like a YouTuber with any content genre. We'll pick unboxing. Okay. So let's say that the unboxing YouTuber is going to drop a video on Sunday. And the question you need to ask yourself now is, what is your audience doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday leading up to that drop? So if we have virtual environments that subscribers and fans can go into, there needs to be a way for the subscribers to go into their space and click a box every day of the week, because the unboxing creator is going to unbox this beautiful golden statue. So if you have Monday through Saturday, that's 6 days. You've got 2 legs, you've got 2 arms, you've got a torso and a head. And for the fans who go in for all 6 days, on the 7th day, they're going to be connected to some additional exclusive purchase. There's some sort of gate for the participation, and they can subscribe to these campaigns. So these are net new revenue streams that these technologies can empower. We're only a team of, to your question of how do these companies come together, we're only a team of about 25, 30 people. We took a lot of inspiration and market validation from the Estee Lauders and PwCs and Fidelities of the world, and we built a course tech stack around that then is for everyone. It's for creators, it's for artists, it's for brands. And that model that we're describing is the future. That's the double click. That's the double down. That's the immersive part.
All right. Howard, gamification versus gaming. And do you have, how, as you look at this and why the game show? What, like from your platform, how are you linking these things together and say, this is the through line?
Well, first is we're not looking for the next great Call of Duty player, right? We're looking for somebody who's going to entertain the audience both from a gaming perspective. So they're going to have to be able to navigate 25 different games across 9 genres across 10 weeks of a show.
So the gaming part.
So that's the gaming part. But the real engagement part, how do you get the audience to want to participate with you? We have the ability, the audience will have the ability to invest in teams in the contestants and watch them rise through the weeks, both in the competition and as they build their social media platform. And then our job on the show is to take it outside of just the television show and create away from keyboard experiences, whether it's sending people out to do good in the world or whether it's sending them out, on vehicles for adventures. But the general idea is how do we get people to tune in for the value that we're providing them on the show, and then taking that out into the gaming world and the games that they're playing, where they can actually purchase goods and things that they want in return for more value in the games that they love. So it's a
virtuous cycle.
It's a virtuous cycle.
Love that. All right, Kaycie, help me understand. Somebody's out there as a creator. Are they coming to you saying, I want to work with you guys and build stuff? How do you engage with creators, your creators yourselves, and then how do you take that to the monetization aspect?
Way that we kind of work with creators, we also,
It's all good. Remember, Jim said, eat the mic. You're eating the mic.
Eating the mic.
And there's a nice person over there is playing with the audio.
Oh yeah, of course. So how we work with creators is honestly, one thing I love about the aspects of creators and also brands that we work with, especially like gaming companies, is one creator if I'm working at a booth and they come up to me like, how do you make this into reality? How do I make my vision into reality? How do I do this? How do I do that? Is how I would, give them my diverse of like, hey, I have creators that also would love to work with you as well. Or I have brands that would work with you as well. And also to create what, we can have like for gaming aspect or for more of a marketing aspect into the world, where right now, like we are currently working with Minecraft, with Walmart. And, that's one thing that was very engaging for me. That's a very new component to kind of bring into the gaming world. And so that one is where we have high intel, creators like Minecraft, and to campaign out with social media aspects and also videos and all that as well. So it depends on like the creator itself, where they'll give me an idea and I will work with them to help them and also connect them to the necessary brands that kind of gets to their dream.
Got it. So it could be big, Walmart, Minecraft,
Fortnite.
Yeah. Is there, and that seems almost daunting, right? When you say those brands, those are big brands. Say I'm an individual.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a YouTube series going now, but I want to take it to the next step. is my next step Minecraft? Is it Walmart? Is there a baby step? Is there, what is that next?
I think the baby step is groups like ours getting to scalability. So if you think about what creators have to do, they're being told today that they have to be on Twitch, they have to be on Patreon, they have to be on YouTube, they have to be streaming on Instagram Live and TikTok and at the same time, and all the others I'm not mentioning. And it's burning everybody out. So are we really going to ask them to spend, 6 or 12 months to build this virtual world that maybe 1,000 people will go to in the end? Probably not. Some of them will, and there are great experiences that are being built for that purpose. But there are millions of creators out there. So when we were building our tech stack out, the question was, how quickly can you put a YouTube channel up? How can we make a virtual space like that that's very, very plug and play? And then how do you connect their entire omnichannel and all their revenue streams in there in a very clean manner so that when we have sponsors and advertisers coming to the platform, we have these templated environments. Let's say that there's a pond or a lake in one, and there's somebody who does food content, and Swedish Fish can come in and partner with them right away. And then we can send out to all the subscribers who have come from the creator to the platform before, come fish for Swedish Fish. And then now there's a gamified element based on game mechanics and social features that we're putting out. The creator can share that to their other channels. There's now a container of engagement where all of this can live. And then there needs to be some sort of QR or promo code once people have fished so that they can go use that as part of the affiliate campaign that the brands and the creators partner on, so that they go to 7-Eleven and redeem something. But then because they're at 7-Eleven, they're now spending 20 extra bucks on something, or it connects them to something on the GoPuff app. That's where we're connecting to the real world.
Got it.
Can I?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, even though we're producing a show for Amazon, we are content creators and we're a production company. And the ability to get seen on Amazon is not easy, unless they're behind you in a big way until you get some big numbers. So we had to actually build our own social media platform. We spent 7 figures in putting together a proprietary, software platform that allows creators. Right now we've got 75,000 of micro and nano influencers that have signed up with some 340 million followers that are going to each week come in, choose the brands that are part of our atmosphere. They're going to participate in quests in which they'll earn points and get prizes to increase their audience size with the potential of being on our show. And while that's all happening, that we're helping them to build their own following, right? So we've gone out and said influencers and content creators are important to us. How can we use them, give them value, and which is a big content or prize vault behind them and the opportunity to be on our show? And how can we magnify the effect that they're having on our audience to drive viewership? Right, because we don't have a massive budget for marketing and advertising. And the interesting thing is, if you're a brand and you're looking for exposure, we're managing all these influencers at no cost. We've provided so much value in being part of these quests that they're naturally coming to us and picking brands, which we're then working with them to make sure we have AI controls in place to make sure there's brand safety involved. But the idea is, how do we turn it on its head and say, okay, creators, here's a chance for you to pick the brands that you want and also be a part of something that's a larger part of the gaming ecosystem.
Well, I'd like to provide just one slight little darkened shade to, the different examples everyone's giving here, because I represent creators that don't even know they're creators. And I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of my creators are doctors. I didn't even realize that recently till one of my community members brought it to my attention. And it's funny. They all said, we don't want to get in front of gamers. Like we just want to use the gaming world, but we don't want to get in front of gamers. That's what they said in the beginning. But now they're like, we love gamers. We love their personality. They're very intelligent. They're very communicative. They're the future. So now they only work with gamers. So these are doctors that came to our platform saying, we want to use the gaming world, don't want the gamers. And now they're saying, we only want to work with gamers. Like we understand that they need to have healthier lifestyles, and this is the future, and we miss this. I mean, I've got people in my industry telling me, I missed 6 billion people. Like, how did I miss these people? You know, and I think it's so important. Just thank you so much, Howard. I just want to finish this thought. They didn't know that they were creators. And we do dream building with these people. They can't code. They can't use an SDK. They're not going to go live streaming. That's not their interest. But we've taught them how to create content by bringing their own communities in. And we found new and inventive ways for them to become creators. These are people who don't put a single post on their Facebook channel. And now they have to
but
contribute.
what I think we've got here is there's sort of a small, medium, large. There's also how much, again, to your point of people that didn't think they were creators to people who are calling themselves creators and wanting to go to the next level. There's, where they're taking what they naturally do and they're moving it to the next stage of, I'm a gamer. It's almost like the stages of evolution. I started gaming, then I started broadcasting on Twitch, then I'm going to take that to a next level.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Well, I was going to add to that. I think that's very apt. And I think this dovetails off of what you were saying, Howard, which is, the creators, it still is about that speed to market, whether your experience is small, medium, or massive. People are going to want the massive experiences and they'll pay for them. But if you think of creator culture, a lot of creator culture is taking what's trending on Reddit and immediately making something out of it. So the self-serve tools, the game mechanics that need to be there, the social features that need to be there, I think that's what's going to catalyze, and that's what's going to help creators continue to create that content, which is that glorious content vault that you were talking about, which I think is spot on, because these platforms will grow and there will be many more players in the space in the coming years, and they'll be able to throw their weight around. But as a content creator, you still have the power. You still make the content that that's the magnet for the audience to come. And so you just need to find the right set of tools that are going to allow you to grow the fastest. And I think small, medium, or large, the tools just have to be there, and the tools have to be able to scale fast.
This is the new, what is it, Foursquare for Immersive? They all used to hand code HTML. Oh, yes, we used to all hand code HTML. Now there's an AI agent for that. You guys are the AI agent for, a creator who wants to go that next step.
Can I ask one just general favor of everybody? And that is, stop thinking of gamers as a segment. Everybody games. You just want to go where the audience is. That can be an immersive new world, or it could be a way to provide value in a world that already exists. Every one of you is a gamer. And by the way, Gen A and Gen Z are spending more time gaming than they are in social media. So if you stop thinking about them as gamers and start thinking about them as audience.
No, I think that's a great point. And if you think about gaming, right, like some people will instantly go to somebody who's, playing Fortnite or things like that. It's a very broad, how many people have played Bridge or, Go, or you think about it. Gaming is a very encompassing, and again, where we were talking gaming versus game mechanics. So this is another aspect of it is, the reason that game mechanics work is it's applying to something in your brain that I do this, I engage, I want to do more of it, but it's also leaning in as opposed to not, right? It's sort of the lean forwards versus the lean back. Broadcast, lean back. Immersive gaming, lean in. You're engaged as a user, as a participant in something. And again, I think it's across the board. It feels like the conversation here this is necessary. This, as I think, and I say this, being the kinds of things that you all are engaged in it's inevitable. Do you feel like this is there's no question. It's just the different aspects we're doing here this is where we are continually progressing. Now this seems to me a very wide landscape. different aspects of that. But what's your perspective on it?
So we created a program recently called Go Gold, G-O-L-D, Go Out Local and Discover. Most of our businesses are local businesses. They're brick and mortar that come to the metaverse to create a virtual experience to augment or kind of drive traffic and awareness to a physical program or a location or what have you. But it's kind of like a really interesting tug and pull, because they're taking people online even though they really want them to come into a physical store. So the idea of this loyalty and rewards that's like hyper local, city enabled, you get all these local businesses working together, kind of like Starbucks did this and was very successful. But this idea of bridging physical and virtual is extremely important. I think, Kaycie, you were talking about this, and with a use case like Walmart, you've got so much data that you can pull from that. And when you work in Omniverse City, one of the things we're very passionate about is the data that we collect, how we secure and preserve and make sure that data is, very, in ownership, protected, of course, but also in the ownership of, we're working right now with building a data center on sovereign land because we have a partner that said, look, everybody's going on these, I'm not going to name the companies because they're all here, but, we want people to have ownership of that data so that they can draw the insights that they need and not just get some kind of like hand carved insights. These local businesses need that. They don't get access to that. And listen, we've all gone to a local store to say, wait a second, I don't want to get on Amazon. It isn't in the department store. We really need to think about these local businesses. I'm so passionate about it, but I don't think people realize how much is really missing from that group and how desperately they need to learn from the great minds that are on this panel.
All right. I see Mr. Ladderback approaching. Hey, Phil Donahue.
All right. Thank you all for the discussion. I want to take it a little broader because to me, immersive includes more than just gaming. And you actually, John, alluded to this when you mentioned the lean back versus lean forward, viewing versus experience. 15 years ago, I was here over in the North Hall, and everyone was talking about how VR was going to be the next way of looking at television, that immersive experience, that it would be here by 2025. It ain't. My question to you is, the immersive lean forward experience, whether it is VR, whether it is holographic or whatever, when do you think it's going to be here for the general public?
It's probably still mobile for a little bit. I think the headset needs to just become this, and then you'll see a lot of that transformation. But then there also have to be killer apps. We've continued to talk about how creators are going to use the tools and the platforms that are available to them to make their experiences for their subscribers and fans and all that. So when we think about TerraZero and the Introverse and all the game mechanics and social features that we're making, one of our goals for this year is just who are the creators and artists and brands by the end of the year that are coming to our platform, spinning up environments and coming up with different experiences that we never thought of. And the more that happens, the more that you have that content generation, the more that across all these platforms and mediums, that's going to be the catalyst for more hardware people to invest further because there's more money to be made, there's more time to be spent, and that's going to accelerate the next digital frontier of immersion.
You're talking to a guy who launched a VR product in the 90s called the Power Glove that I thought was going to transform all of gaming.
Thank you. By the way.
And then also a product called Captain Power, where the toys and the TV work together. I thought this is it. And so every time I hear VR or look at what's going on in VR, I just sort of laugh. Until the headset thing is figured out, until the weight on your head and the ability to interact in the environment, it's going to be a long way off. And to be honest, we are still looking for games to play on our live finale. We were going to do virtual reality, but we could not find games that were popular enough or that would really engage large audiences. So I think what Meta's doing with the Ray-Ban glasses and is a good start to involve people in that. Now, we do need the killer app. Software drives everything. So until there's a return on investment for the software guys, it's going to be a long time. And look, when Minecraft first came out and you compared them and Roblox and you compared them to what's happening in the metaverse and the graphics that are capable on in virtual worlds, it was like, well, who's going to play Roblox and who's going to play Minecraft with these peggy characters? And look at what's happening. It's really about the quality of the content that matters.
So there's a couple of things to think about. There's a difference between immersive and interactive. And to think about, people talk about VR, it can still be a hot box on face that's not interactive, right? You think about what the purpose of that technology to do something or to engage with. That the VR technology is still very purpose driven. If you can solve a problem, training is very popular with that. Immersive environment training on solving a problem. Entertainment doesn't necessarily solve that problem. Immersive and interactive and thinking about an interactive could just be interacting with the environment and not necessarily gamification, but just doing things, engaging in things. So I think solving some of the physical problems, it's still hot box on face. How long can you wear this? And then bringing what are the purposes that you're solving with it.
Well, and I just want to add one quick thing, because virtual reality, I think, needs to have the sisters and cousins, mixed reality, augmented reality, extended reality, all combined. We believe in Omniverse City, and this doesn't just include the virtual world, which is browser accessible. You don't need a VR headset to enjoy it. I think a lot of people are shocked by that, because a lot of people don't realize you can get some of these graphics through pixel streaming through a browser. You don't need that hardware. We believe in the 5D philosophy, and that's the space around you, making sure that you're building that spatial awareness. Interactive is one of them. So understanding if I push that object, this thing comes down, and I know now I can control my environment by interacting. Immersive, which is cinematic. I mean, in Unreal Engine, the dew on the leaves, and you could see the fibers, like you could feel it, you could touch it. Now you have haptic gloves to add to that. Mm-hmm. And we add temporal and emotional. That emotional feeling that you get from people showing facial expressions in these virtual worlds. I mean, The Last of Us is a great example of this. You can really see games that have made you cry even, just because of how intense that emotion was.
Kaycie, how are you guys looking at some of this different technology and how you're engaging audiences?
So the way that we kind of engage audience is I kind of get where everybody's with the VR and also the interactive or the immersive. So the way that I look at it is where we kind of showcase in like a virtual world, but we can also showcase in a retail world or a gaming booth. So I'll go to like different convention centers, kind of like show uniqueness to the audience that they don't get to experience that every day. They get to experience a world of maybe like if, for example, Walmart. We'll bring Walmart to a gaming convention to kind of showcase a game, which is Minecraft. And like, so them kind of engaging with creators and also people that's like a fan of Walmart or a fan of Minecraft. They're like, oh, that is awesome. Where you're kind of getting to the aspect of like when you go on tour, you see a Walmart at a convention center that kind of showcases a game, and it's very immersive too when people don't get to be there in person. And then also the interactive aspects is also that uniqueness of getting to experience a Walmart or getting to experience Minecraft in a world of like influencers and also gamers itself in an entire of like a diverse aspect.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have time for one more question right here. See, I don't even have to run. Thank you.
That's Andy.
So kind of building off what you just talked about, coming from the agency world and trying to get brands into this. Obviously 10 years ago, shock and awe, it was kind of a little bit easier because nobody was doing it. And, they'd be, how do I talk to a brand in a pitch to be like, hey, take a slice of your marketing budget, get in here. What's their ROI? I love what you said about bringing them to the convention and convincing them that way. What other ways would you suggest that we bring brands into this space?
Sure. Oh, were you gonna? Okay, sorry. Was that for me or just?
For anybody.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, I'll just jump. This is a big thing for me because if you're a marketing manager today and you want to put money in gaming, there's a very you have to see the ROI. There's just, if you're a small brand with a small budget and you can't build an immersive world like Skyward or what you did with H&R and Bomb Pops, which I loved, that you have to find a way to get measurable ROI. So what we're also doing, we didn't talk much about Scuti today, but the idea of a marketplace, as a brand, you can market your products within a game and offer the gamers rewards for buying your products. And that builds loyalty with your brand, and it has them looking for other ways to earn when they buy those products. So we're democratizing the ability to be in games by providing the tools, light SDKs, tokenized rewards, and curated shopping experiences.
And then let me answer your question. So when you're talking to the brand, they have a few KPIs that they likely want to drill down on. And what you want to do, I think, is help them understand 3 different core pieces. One is, how do you take something like behavioral analytics and trends at a greater level of detail by the user or in aggregate? And how does that help you make better business decisions? In terms of revenue generation, how does it work for virtual experiences, just like it does for CPMs on YouTube? And then how do you get them in more places faster? So if we have virtual environments where we have music artists and creators collaborating together, the brands then come in there. And suddenly, with a click, you have 3 large audiences that are connecting instead of just one. And you can anchor it on, these companies are putting out their brand identities, and they're saying, and it's often sentiment driven. So all these products amount to, how does this make the user feel better? How does this make the user, what does it give the user or the customer that they want? And what you can say is, through these virtual experiences, like Howard is saying, the reward is the next step in that user journey for the brand. How can you catalyze what's happening through the, not just immersion, but interactivity to the next step, the next purchase moment, the next opportunity to bring in something that's not just purchase driven, but sentiment driven for the brand. All of those KPIs and all those things are what they're going to want to capitalize on. It'll make them the heroes at the brands and the agencies, and it's going to give you an opportunity to grow your reach.
And I think there's a new focus in addition to ROI, before ROI, which is return on attention. We talk about, let's face it, Reels and short form content is kind of ranged. We have 5 minutes now YouTube has gone to with shorts. So they've expanded that, that short philosophy from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. We all want people to get more information. That little snippet isn't enough to really give them the full picture. And I think these virtual worlds can tell. They always say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but if that's the case, what's a virtual world worth? And how much can you, how more effectively and authentically can you really deliver that message?
Cool. I think that is about it. I will give it a big hand for John, Howard, Kaycie, Brandon, and Charlene. Thank you all for being part of this. This is the end of Creator Lab for 2025 here at NAB Show. We will see you all next year. It's been a blast. Thank you all for being part of it. Thank you guys too. Appreciate it.
Where's the confetti?
Thank you so much.